Well, life is tough on YouTube, so I don't like censoring anything as a principle, but sometimes, regrettably, censorship is there. There are pretty good arguments for censorship. They're given by Kant, Rousseau, Plato, so on and so forth. And I don't want to be so high minded to bring those forces to bear with Aaron Smith-Levin, who's a complete moron. But still, there's as usual with Aaron, he's not telling the whole truth or distorting it for the money, which I get it. You got to make a living on YouTube. Not Aaron. I think he's saved up enough money, but that's me. Aaron did a recent video on his old-time favorite, asking about Danny Masterson. Especially likes to quiz women on Danny Masterson because Aaron's a radical feminist. So let's try to hear through the propaganda of his stupidity.
Desk here too. I didn't realize. Oh, Siri, you're in trouble. We can't get this guy to stop following us around. It's like he's in love with me or something. When Danny Masterson, the Scientologist, was convicted of rape, he wasn't declared an SP, but his victims were declared when they called the police. Is that standard Scientology policy? But you're a seer member. You know the answer. It's in the offenses and penalties that you can't call civil authorities on another Scientologist, right? But unfortunately, it doesn't say you can't rape. It's a little weird, right? Yeah. So, in your opinion, though, as a seer member, as was I'm an ex-seer member, if a Scientologist were to be convicted in a court of law of violently raping other Scientologists, would you expect them to be declared and expelled? Probably, right? You can't even say. See, do you see how when Scientologists can't say of course, it makes it look like Scientology protects rapists? What? You heard what I said, right? So I can tell you, when I was in the Sea Org, if there was a celebrity who was convicted of raping Scientologists and they were not declared and expelled, I would have a problem with that.
Well, you gotta love Iran is still using the Scientology tech in his own way, as is the woman. I want to be fair. They're both kind of using the tech, but in very cynical ways. So, like, is she lying or evading Aaron's questions? The answer is, well, no, because this is a short course. I mean, here, I don't like Hubbard or his philosophy. He's a little bit on solid ground. So, the way Hubbard defines knowledge is the way I understand it, is you have to have direct perceptual knowledge of X or Y. Now, does this really work out? Probably not. Like, do I think L. Ron Hubbard acknowledged that the moon exists? Sure. I don't think even L. Ron was like, the moon doesn't exist. Well, did he go to the moon? Did he actually touch the moon? Then the answer is no. Then, well, how could you believe in the moon? And that's the way the game is played. So, unless this woman has direct knowledge of Danny Masterson, she could just say, I don't know anything about that. Right? And Aaron brought up, oh, it's policy and the penalties. That begs the questions. It could be, I haven't read that policy, or I don't care about that policy, or my knowledge of that policy is not direct or full or 100%. Like, there's a certain thing with Hubbard about certainty. Unless you're very certain of something, it's not going to count as knowledge, right? So then you can just say, cynically saying, I don't know anything about that, because you don't have full knowledge of it, so I don't really know, I don't really care. I just find it hilarious that Aaron is trying to guilt trip the woman, and he doesn't acknowledge, which, because, nobody's going to tell the truth. A Scientologist abusing another Scientologist would be a scandal in Hubbard's time. The way Hubbard defined it on the, that mythical tone scale, and again, let's be very clear, because he lumped in all these groups. He thought homosexuals and predators were equally bad. And his solution to them were pretty severe. I mean, he's basically, we should exile them or even possibly kill them. So to Hubbard, if you were guilty, if we could find, undoubted knowledge that you committed this crime, he would, as a Scientologist, order that Scientologist not just to be punished, but severely physically punished, which Aaron magically forgets. He just magically forgets that Hubbard is actually very stern there. Now, again, this is the problem with Hubbard. He's such a sexual reactionary. Like, he would count as crimes all kinds of things, right? You touching yourself would be considered criminal activity. So he's pretty broad of what he considers a criminal when it comes to sexuality. But we'll put that aside. So Aaron is saying, and this is, you have to listen to him carefully. He said, if I found out about Danny Masterson would be cut into Sea Org, at the time, I would be outraged. Okay, so let's get this straight. So Danny was convicted recently of the crimes committed in the 2000s when Aaron was in the Sea Org. So he's in the exact identical position of the woman, right? He's just as guilty of playing along with the abuse. He didn't care. He didn't do anything. When Danny Masterson was committing his crimes, Aaron was an active Scientologist. And of course, Aaron said, guy, I didn't even know. Well, we'll put aside, there's actually pretty strong evidence. He did know. In a lot of videos, Aaron's like, gosh, it was a common knowledge. Yeah, Danny was always a bad guy. So you knew he was a bad guy, and he probably committed these crimes. You just didn't care. So how are you a better person? I don't know. Or Aaron could be like, no, I didn't know. Well, if you didn't know legitimately, then possibly she didn't know legitimately. I mean, she's a young woman. I mean, how old was she when she was a Scientologist when Danny Masterson was committing his crimes? What, 13? 15? Maybe even 9? We'd have to know the age of this woman to even get started. What if she was extremely young? What if she was like 7 years old? How would she know about these things? How? Did she get a knowledge report from David Miscavige? Just a stupid question. I also found it interesting. He literally starts off with a homophobic attack. He said, oh yeah, this Osha guy keeps following me. It's like he's in love with me or something. Okay, so when Aaron keeps walking up to these male Scientologists, is he being a homosexual? And notice the implication. Homosexuals are bad guys. Oh, he's like a homo. Homos are bad. Well, if you think homos are bad, following Hubbard, okay, how are you fighting Scientology? Apparently you agree with the Scientologists that, yeah, homosexuals, oh my God, they're so bad. So this whole time he's doing all those videos with Nora, inside he was really disgusted. Like we know now, he clearly hated Nora the whole time. He's come out and said repeatedly, oh God, oh my, Nora, oh, the evil of Nora. Okay, so you only tolerated the homosexuals because you were making money with them, right? He only had Nora on to get the clicks and get some money out of her. Right, but Aaron is the better person here. Right. And what if the Osa guy is gay? What's he gonna do then? You know, there are gay Scientologists. I mean, I don't think it's a good idea. I mean, I would not be part of an organization that hates me. You know, I'm Hispanic. Am I going to join the KKK? No, I think that's stupid. But hey, guess what? It does happen, right? You have black people in the MAGA cult. People will join groups that actively hate them, purely cynically. So it could be that Osa guy was gay. What's Aaron going to say then? Is it a bad thing that he's acting on his attraction? Is it a bad thing to be a homosexual around Aaron? Apparently so. You can't be a homosexual around Aaron. Oh, God. This male Scientologist is trying to follow me. He's like, he wants to touch me. Oh, my God, it's disgusting. Okay, but you touch people without their permission all the time. Like, Aaron actively goes after young women and old women, young men, old men, trying to get in their face. So it's like, what? Is he secretly queer? What's that about? Again, we all know this is just flimsy nonsense. He doesn't care about Danny. He doesn't care about Danny's victims. But I love he made it all hypothetical. You know, if I didn't know about Danny, I would be outraged. Okay. Oh, would. If I had known, I would have done it. I would have been a hero and said, no, Scientology, Danny Masterson bad. Notice it's all hypothetical. Like time travel. Oh, if I had known, I'd time travel and say, oh, bad David Miscavige. Because back then he was a David Miscavige loyalist. Right? Now remember, there is alarmingly large amounts of evidence that David Miscavige probably murdered Lisa McPherson. This is the 2000s. The Lisa McPherson case now is common knowledge. There is no way Aaron didn't know. That should have been enough being like, join the Sea Org? No, you murder innocent women. That's fine. Right? Again, that's YouTube. I'd say, allegedly, David Miscavige murdered an innocent young girl. He's okay with that. He thought that was fine. You know, David, you know, he possibly killed this girl. That's great. I'm going to be loyal to him. But he would have, what, quit the Sea Org? Oh, Danny, oh no, that's too far. Oh no. Murder girls? That's okay. But no, abuse? No, Aaron would never allow that. Right. But again, you know, if you want to believe Aaron's pseudo radical feminism, go ahead. I just think it is. It's a really cruel, cynical joke. Also, what is he actually doing to help women? Right? If he actually cares about this crime, preventing it, I'm sure in Florida there are tons of groups dedicated to helping victims. What's he doing to help those groups? As far as I can tell, zero. He's not doing anything to help them. So, what do I think about his actual concern with women victims of Scientologists or non-Scientologists? I think it's zero. He doesn't really care about the victims. So, what was the point of this exercise? I guess it's that the OSHA guy is bad. He's following me. Aaron, you might have a point, but you keep doing the same thing. If you think it's bad to stalk people, here's a clue. Maybe stop stalking people. Then at least you have rhetorical ground to condemn that. You don't even do that. You're stalking people all the time without their permission, even if they're not in Scientology. They even tell you to your face, I'm not a Scientologist. Oh, yeah. Well, I'm hanging with my friends drinking beer in the Sea Org. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, okay, you were in the Sea Org, a terrorist organization, and you left and you created another terrorist organization. That makes you a terrorist, Aaron. Doesn't make you a good guy. It just makes you what you are, a punk.